Before we get into this video, I do want to say apologies to the developers in advance because you guys treat me with nothing but hospitality. However, I do need to be completely honest in this video, and that might come across slightly negative. But thank you for your hard work in creating this game. But at the end of the day, yeah, let's just get straight into this. Project Mugetsu is not a bandit beater. I'm not gonna lie, it's slightly worse than that. It is like falling into the pits of hell and being enslaved by demons in order to mine every single day of your life for the rest of your life in the hot pits of hell. That is quite the analogy, and I'm being so serious when I say that, especially if you became a hollow. Now, I didn't get to play the Soul Reaper side of the game. However, some people did tell me it is less tedious and there's more abilities, there's more fun. We're not talking about that. I'm talking purely what I experienced whilst playing this game. So, getting straight into it, you spawn inside of Hueco Mundo in your first stage of being a hollow. And within that stage, you have to devour 600 and something hollows or arancas or whatever. It's not, when you kill someone, you can devour them. And once you devour them, you get points towards your race awakening or the next stage of your race progression. Now, the issue with this is, first of all, it takes a million years to complete. And second of all, though it's been patched now you don't lose progression on death. But when I was playing, you lost progression on death. And if you're playing solo, sometimes you can get jumped, or sometimes you get put in an infinite combo by some of the hollows and you will die at least once or twice. And I died about 6 times. So I lost a whole bunch of progression, literally. And every time you die, you lose about 80 to 100. I'm assuming it's along those lines. So you lose quite a lot of progression when you die. That is annoying because you have to do that all again. Now, I'm pretty sure depending on the type of hollow you devour contributes to how much points you get. I'm not too sure of the exact statistics. If I find it, I'll put it on the screen. However, it doesn't really matter. It still takes a very long time to do. But if you're like everybody else when the game first launched, you're not just going to go into the game half-heartedly. You want to truly experience it. So after about 3 hours, I finally got past the first stage of my evolution, which then brings us to the next stage. Also, just want to quickly point out, if you cannot afford to buy the progression viewer for your race, oh my gosh, bro, you're gonna be stuck. It's a mental game because you won't know how much you need in order to progress to your the next part of your race. And I'm not gonna lie, that is a mental game. The game is already mental, but this game, it makes it even more mental if you can't afford to do it, because then you're just playing the guessing game for hours on end, and that is actually playing with your psyche. And I'm not joking. It's like getting thrown into hell. The next evolution process, Menos. Oh my gosh, Menos, aka AFK in the game simulator, aka premium payouts progression, like actually premium payouts progression. In order to evolve from a Menos, you need to stay within a public server for an hour and 45 minutes. If you're in a private server, it goes up much slower. Don't quote me, but I think it's anywhere between 3 to 4 hours from what I was told. Of course, I'm not gonna go check because why would I ever go inside the private server to AFK for 4 hours? Anyways, premium payout simulator, when you become a Menos, it's not that bad. If anything, I prefer premium payout simulator than bandit beating hollows for hours to progress to the next evolutionary stage. However, when you're a Menos, all you really need to do is stand there. Make sure you can get auto clicker in AFK, or you can go to a high spot on the map and just stand there. Now, if you go to a high spot, it's probably the smart thing to do, because when you're a Menos, you can kind of climb up a lot of structures that you wouldn't be able to when you're a hollow. And Menoses are quite tanky, and you have the 2 moves, the stamp move and the Zero, that deals a lot of damage. So if hollows do try to kill you or troll you, you can take them out pretty easily. I got 2v1, then I managed to escape. Yeah, no, very scary situation to be in, especially when you risk losing your progression on death. I was literally about to Alt F4 out the game and never play again. That is the easiest part of progression, because after you evolve from a Menos, you have to go into the next stage. I don't even know what it's called. However, that one you have to devour 1,200 something, 1,200 plus holos, Orancas, whatever you need to devour in order to evolve into the next stage. And that, sir, that is unacceptable. Now, within the first stage, it was only about 600, but in the third stage, it's double that. That is a good 3 to 6 hours. Thankfully, they took off being able to lose your progression, so it is a bit easier and you don't have to stress about dying, but still it takes pretty long and it's pretty tedious. Like literally all you have to do is bandit beat to progress. Now, I know we make fun of games for being bandit beaters. Fruit Warriors is probably the best example you could put, going island to island, literally just doing the same quest over and over and bandit beating over and over the same 4 mobs. But this is bandit beating, but to a completely different extent. As I said, getting thrown into the pits of hell, because you actually have to do the same thing. You don't even have to go do a quest. You don't need to pick up a quest, etc. You have to do the same thing in Hueco Mundo. Run around Hueco Mundo looking for holos to beat up and then devour them for hours on end. It is a bandit beater. Don't get it twisted. Don't get me wrong. But this is like, it makes me want to jump off a cliff. I'm literally losing my mind. I am going insane. Imagine doing the same repetition for hours on end. And if you're on a public server, sometimes you don't even find holos because people have killed them all. Thank God the game put that if you kill other players, you can't devour them, because the game would just be absolutely impossible to play through, genuinely. But no, that's my complaints for the game through and through. This isn't a bandit beater, this is getting thrown into the pits of hell. And I stand on that statement. It is worse than the bandit beater, genuinely, because there's no difference in scenery. It's the same thing over and over and over and over until you become a Vastio Lorde, get really pretty looking abilities, and then you can, you know, go to different places and do the exact same thing and kill bosses to get rare drops and then PvP. It's like, imagine GPO, Blocks Fruits, Pirate Warriors progression, but you're in the same island for the whole game. Imagine that. No, honestly, imagine that. At least in those games, you get a change of scenery every 10, 20 levels. Here, you're stuck in the same place the whole time, bro. It's crazy. You would lose your mind. It's like getting thrown into a mental. By the time you're done playing this game, you're gonna be in a psych ward. Okay, this game is crazy. Again, no offense to the developers, you guys worked hard. A lot of the visual effects look good, the world building looks good, Hueco Mundo looks good, but the progression, the content within the game is oh my god, it's unbearable. Okay, good luck to the developers, good luck to the people who play the game. This is a Bleach game, by the way. Bleach, Roblox games all follow the same formula because it's the only thing they can do, because it's impossible to make an entertaining Bleach game. People get gassed when new Bleach games come out, but every single Bleach game I've seen on Roblox is the exact same thing with different graphics, I guess. Bleach games are just as bad as Attack on Titan games. It's always going to be the same thing, and there's no possible way of changing that. That's the video done. I'm so sorry I just had to rant. I'm going to be playing Voxel Blade later today. I'm going to see y'all guys then.